Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon. All right, we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Regina Mincing, and this is our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will generally be the defendant's first appearance before a state court judge. And nevertheless, we're able to address bond, possible arraignment, and or a possible plea offer if one has been made at this juncture in the case. What is my reset date? It may be in the chat.
March the 7th, Judge. How are you?
I am fine. How are you? March the
Okay.
7th.
Yes,
Sounds like a
ma'am.
long time away, but it's here.
Yes, it is.
All right, March the 7th, 2023 is the SAP reset date. And I'm going to begin by informing everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So govern yourselves accordingly. I want to remind the defendants that you do have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to counsel, which most of you know who your attorneys are at this point. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. So govern yourselves accordingly and listen to your attorneys. First case.
Yes, Your Honor. We have position 17, Mr. Wilson.
All right. This is case number 23 CR 000-909E, DeMarcus Wilson. You're charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, and the 2nd count of criminal trespass. The offense date is December 27, 2021. Pre-trial.
That's the first arrest. I forgot to add that one.
Thank you. All right, state.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good afternoon.
The facts are on December the 27th of 2021. Officers responded to 715 Fairborn Road Southwest in connection to a dispute. Upon arrival, they spoke with Deja Perriman, first name Daijah, last name Perrymond. Ms. Perriman stated that her boyfriend, Mr. DeMarcus Wilson, the defendant, came over to the location to collect his belongings because they had broken up 3 days prior to that date. She stated that she let him spend the night, and on the next day, on December the 27th, she asked him to leave. When she asked him to leave, he became upset. He began pushing and slapping her and stated that he helps around the house. She then got him to step outside, and she locked the door, and he picked up a rock and damaged the bedroom window. The state is requesting a $3,500 good bond total, $3,000 for the battery, family violence, $500 for the criminal trespass. We ask that the court sound for Deja Perriman at the appropriate time, Your Honor. That's all from the state.
Thank you. Is Deja Perriman on the Zoom? Deja Perriman? All right, go ahead. Is it your case, PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wilson is 20 years old, and Your Honor, they are still girlfriend and boyfriend, and they reside together. However, my client is not opposing to stay away nor no further contact. And yet they do have a child together, 4 months old. So they strongly prefer to have a no further violent contact. This happened in December, almost about 2 months ago. There has been enough cooling period time. Their relationship is right now very rekindled. They would like to continue their relationship. Mr. Wilson is working at All-in-One Security near Atlanta. And before that, he was working at airport security. He's afraid that he's going to get fired if he does not get out of the jail fast to go back to the work. He's the sole financial provider for his baby and his newly girlfriend. He graduated from high school and he is healthy. We would like to request for signature on bond, considering the fact that this happened remotely a long time ago, and also this is his first offense ever. I believe his mother is here as well on the Zoom, Miss Wanda Wilson. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I do see Miss Wilson on the line. Usually in the interest of time, Miss Wilson, this is, and I say just, but this is a bond hearing. This is not his trial. And if you were not on the scene at that time, I usually just kind of indulge and ask that you would be able to understand that you can speak at another forum. But were you on the scene of this incident?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm going to hold, I usually only hear from my victims in the case. And if we have those victims or other witnesses, and I can almost, understand what you might say to me. But let me go ahead. I've heard from both sides and give a ruling,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
and you can speak at a different time. Yes, sir.
I don't mean to cut you off, but we do have the in the gallery and she wishes to speak.
You have who in the gallery?
The victim.
Oh, okay.
Bring me in. I didn't get those stand over there. Thank you. Come on.
Hi, Ms. Perryman.
Hi.
Yes, are you Deja Perryman?
Yes.
All right, would you like to address the court today?
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell me today?
Basically, the incident happened 2 years ago. We moved forward and we're over it. Just here on his behalf to speak.
Are you in fear of Mr. Wilson? No. All right, and since this incident, has Mr. Wilson been residing with you and your baby?
Yes, he's a good father.
Okay. All right, I will take that under consideration. Is there any cross-examination by the state?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, any cross-examination by PD Kim?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right, thank you for coming down, Ms. Perryman. I am going to give my ruling. I'm going to order $3,500. I'm going to order $3,000 500 signature bond. I'm going to order that signature bond through the jail. That'd be $3,000 on the battery, $500 on the criminal trespass. I'm going to order a stay away from that Fairburn Road address, the incident location, which I assume, even though I know it's the residence for both, but I'm going to order that stay away. Was that the state's request?
Yes, Your Honor, stay away. No further contact from the state.
And I know that they do have a 4-month-old child. My concern with this case is I guess just what PD Kim mentioned, it happened in 2021. And it's been over a year ago. With obviously, I'm hoping no other incidents since that time. I'm going to, and the child is very small, but I'm going to order no further violent contact. And I'm going to order that if there's visitation allowed with the child, that visitation still be facilitated with the third party. And I'm thinking of that as I'm stating. Maybe I won't do that since it is 4 months old. We'll just order that no further violent contact and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Does it mean that no stay away either?
I thought about that as I was saying it because of the stay away that they do reside together. And I didn't ask the victim if she was working or not. And I don't know if she's gone back to work with the 4-month-old.
Your Honor, I
Can
don't
you
think-
ask, right, can you ask Mr. Wilson, is that a lease or a purchase? Whose
Oh,
residence is this?
it is actually the Miss Perryman's sister's house, Your Honor.
Okay,
And the victim says she's not working.
okay, she's not working. Thank you. I will forego, let's not do the stay away since he's been there. And I hope that Mr. Wilson, you understand the grace that I'm extending to you today. That you can go back to stay there as long as there's no further violent contact. No more violence, no more allegations of that. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while you're on bond, but that's a 3,500 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. All right. Thank you.
Position 8, Ms. Johnson.
Oh, let me make the announcement. I understand that we have the interpreter on the line.
Good
Yes.
afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, and I understand, I'm not for sure which case.
Number
That you-
one,
Oh, the first case. And who's the PD on that case?
Good afternoon, Judge. Zach Finley.
Oh, hi, Mr. Finling. How are you?
Good, good. I hope you've been well.
Yes.
That will be my case. I am about to handle position 8. So if you want, I can handle position 8 and then we can go in a breakout room or whatever's easiest for the court.
Right. We wanted to go ahead and get that done so that you could interview that position. Deputy, can we have another case other than 8 so that Mr. Finling can go into a breakout with the interpreter and position?
Well, Judge, what courtroom is the defendant in?
He's in courtroom 3 and they are doing felony right now.
That's what I thought, because I didn't see him log on yet.
And so
Okay.
it's all going, we can have the.
Oh, well. Okay. Sorry about that. I was trying to be efficient today. I understand. Logistics wise, we can't do what we want to do all the time. So I defer to the jail. So we'll go ahead and do position 8. Is that correct, Deputy Norris?
This Officer Duffy.
I'm
And
sorry. Uh-oh,
Yes.
got the wrong name. Thank
position
you.
8.
Okay. This is Kayla Johnson, 23CR0009018. Charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. That offense date is February the 14th, 2023. And pretrial.
18 total. Last arrest was back in August, Cherokee County, forgery in the 1st degree. 2 counts, and that appears to be open. Got a July arrest out of Troup County, possession of meth, possession of a Schedule 2, and a public order crime. 2021 probation, 2020 probation, 2019 DUI conviction. Excuse me. The possession of meth conviction itself from 2019, 2018 probation, The 2018 possession of a Schedule II is heroin. 2017 suspended license, 2015 suspended license, 2013 probation. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Stay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
This incident
Afternoon.
occurred yesterday, February 14th, where officers responded to the North Fulton Hospital located at 3000 Hospital Boulevard. There it was reported that the defendant was causing a scene and that the defendant was asked to leave by a hospital representative and refused to do so, to which the police were called. The defendant was told by police that if she did not leave, she would be arrested. And as such, she was arrested. The state is recommending in this case a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and a stay away order from that hospital unless it is for treatment or emergency purposes.
All right. And PD Finley.
Yes, Judge. Ms. Johnson is 31 years old. She does have one child who does live with her. The child is 14 months and they live with her parents. So she does have a good location. She have lots of family here. So she does have strong community ties, Judge. She's not currently employed, but is looking for steady employment. I would have to agree, I guess, with that. I would be asking for a signature bond as well, Judge.
Okay. All right, I will allow that $2,000 signature bond through pretrial
Now, that'll be per judge.
per judge. And I'm going to order stay away from the North Fulton Hospital unless for emergency services or treatment. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And take the 1-day anger awareness case through pretrial. And that will conclude this matter. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing
further.
further from the state.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Uh-huh.
Position 10, Ms. Lewis.
Position, what was that again, Deputy?
10.
Oh, 10. This is Marquita Lewis, 23 CR 000-907D. They're charged with 1 count of battery family violence, a 2nd count of theft by taking. The offense date is April the 23rd, 2022. Pretrial.
3rd arrest. Last was 2015, given false name conviction. Had an ag assault, simple battery arrest, 2010. They were dismissed.
All right. State. Ms.
Yes, Your Honor.
Page,
This incident occurred April 23rd of last year, 2022, where officers responded to 6477 Deccan Drive. There they learned that the victim, Marissa Lewis, and the defendant, who was her mother, were having a verbal argument after the defendant had took Miss Lewis's keys and refused to give them back. The argument escalated and turned physical when the defendant hit Miss Lewis on her back and on her hand with a flour container, which caused swelling. Miss Lewis did need to get an x-ray for her hand, but she learned that it was not broken. And the defendant locked the door and took Miss Lewis's keys and drove off. Your Honor, we did have time to speak to Miss Lewis, and she stated that she and her mother are actually working on their relationship, as this did happen in April of last year. And Miss Lewis is currently living in Korea, so a stay away wouldn't be necessary. So for that reason, Your Honor, the state is going to recommend a $3,500 surety bond. That's $2,500 on the battery, and then $1,000 for the theft by taking, and a no further violent contact with her daughter, Marissa Lewis. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And Your Honor, I do believe the victim is on the line, so we would ask to sound for her.
All right. Miss Lewis, Marissa Lewis. Oh, do I see a Mia Lewis? Okay, you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, my name is Mia.
Oh, it's Mia Lewis.
Yes, my
Not-
middle name is Marissa.
Oh, okay, so it's Mia Marissa Lewis, but Mia. Okay,
Yes,
all right. Do you wish to address the court today?
yes,
All right, raise
I'll-
your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
yes, ma'am.
All right, what would you like to say?
I would like to say that I do not wish to press charges on my mom. That situation escalated and I panicked because I thought she was going to call the police. So I wanted to make sure both sides of the story were heard. But even when the police came, they were like, you can't prove that she took your keys. And I couldn't prove that she took my keys. And so when my uncle brought a spare key, I ended up finding my keys. So she didn't take my keys, and everything else behind that just was kind of unnecessary. And I feel bad because she's here and then she can't get out. Well, she couldn't get out. And I don't want her to lose her job or anything like that because one, I love her, but she takes care of my dog. I couldn't bring my dog to Korea. So she's there. And she still looks out for me. Like, I talk to my mom every day. Every day. She still sends me money. She's financing the furniture that I have here. Like, I don't want this. I don't want her to be.
All right, this is a bond hearing today. And are you in the military or something? Or
My husband's in the military. I'm just a spouse.
okay. All right. All right. I do understand, and I'm gonna assume again you're not in fear of your mother.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And this is your case, Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge, this is my case.
All right, go ahead.
Miss Lewis is 49 years old. As we just heard from her daughter does live in Korea. So we would be asking for no further violent contact with her. And as you've heard, it's very evident that they are extremely close, and that is what I've continued to hear. So that is very much evident, Judge. Miss Lewis has 2 grown kids. She is a retired veteran. She was active duty with the Army for 12 years. So she is retired from that. And I do have a good address for her, and she does have a lot of family locally, Judge. So she does have strong community ties. I would be asking for a signature bond on Miss Lewis's behalf, but if you're not inclined, I would ask for a $1,000 surety bond.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,500 signature bond through the jail. That will be $2,500 on the battery, family violence, $1,000 in theft by taking. I'm going to order no further violent contact with the victim, Marissa Lewis. I said no further violent contact, making sure I said that. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I think that will be it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, thank you.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Position 15, Ms. Sheraton.
This is 23 CR 000-903Y. Is it Natara Sherton? You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property. Offense date is January the 15th, 2022. Pre-trial. Oh, this is a first arrest. I think I've already been informed of that. First arrest on this case. Also, let's see, state, this is ASG Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. On January the 15th, officers were dispatched to 6 Cameron Alexander Boulevard Northwest. That's an apartment complex. They spoke with the landlord, Mike Ivy, who stated that a tenant who had just been evicted from Unit 3 came back to the unit and damaged the window. The tenant that was just evicted was Miss Sheridan. She stated that she let him know by text that she was inside the unit with her boyfriend charging her phone. And to fix the window, it was going to cost approximately $400. Officers came to the scene. They did acknowledge that it was a broken window, and they did retrieve latent fingerprints off of the broken window. State is requesting a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from that address, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapon while on bond. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, we do not have any objection to signature on bond. Only thing is though, we prefer to have a signature on bond through jail. Your Honor, she was evicted without the writ of possession. She never got served for any date that she could have taken out all her personal belongings. By the time that she noticed was when all her personal belongings were just on the street, totally lost. She lost almost entire her personal properties over there. She used to live there. That's why it's obvious that there is a fingerprint in the window. And Your Honor, I have not had a chance to check that text. And she was allowed to come there to the next door to charge the phone, and she was there. The window was broken because the landlord didn't take care of it, Your Honor. She has nothing to do with it, and we would like to request for signature on bond through jail as well, so she can go and take care of her two child, 5 and 3, and she is a housekeeper at the hotel, cleaning up. She really has to get the job so that way she can take care of 2 kids as a single mom. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to grant that $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Do we have an address yet for her, PD Kim?
Yes, we do have a new address, 1025 Reggie Street Road, Southeast. I can put it into chat.
Put that in the chat for me so we can see how to spell that street name, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And all right, as long as we have an address so that we can monitor, keep up with her, that'll be fine. But I will do that $2,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I was thinking about the stay away from that apartment complex, and I don't know if the state requested that or not.
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Okay, and so that'll be a stay away from 690 Cameron Alexander Boulevard Northwest. Stay away from that apartment complex, Ms. Sheraton, okay? Is there a question? Your attorney's gonna probably tell you to hold on that, unless it's about the conditions of your bond.
Please do not say anything, Miss Sheraton. Please give me a call, or I give you a call to explain everything.
She was just trying to say her address was wrong.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's what I was gonna ask, was her address
Sure.
correct? Because the address that you gave, PD Kim, that's not what we have in the system.
Oh, I have a 4602, my bad. It was her grandmother's address. 4602 St. Andrews Drive, Southwest, correct?
That's correct. That's what we have in the system.
Yes. Sorry about
Okay,
that. Thank you.
That's it.
thank you. All right, that will conclude this matter.
Position 9, Ms. Leary.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
This is case number 23 CR 0000905 G. Samantha Leary, you're charged with 3 counts. 1 count of driving following too closely. 2nd count of DUI under the influence of alcohol as safe. And a 3rd count driving possession of open alcohol container. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023. pre-trial. And I think that pre-trial told me, is this a first arrest again? All right, first arrest, state.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday, February 14th. The defendant was found driving too close to the car in front of her, which caused a collision. When the officers pulled the defendant over, they noticed that her speech was slurred. She exhibited deteriorated fine motor skills, and they detected a strong odor of alcohol on her breath. And when she stood up, she was unsupported and began swaying. She admitted to consuming alcohol earlier in the day to the officer. And upon conducting a standardized field sobriety evaluation, the test did indicate that she was impaired. And prior to placing her under arrest, the officers found an open bottle of tequila in her passenger floor. And Your Honor, the state does have serious concerns regarding the nature of this crime. It did cause a collision, and as we know, with DUIs, driving under the influence, it presents a serious risk of danger to the community and those around anyone driving while impaired. So for that reason, the state is going to recommend a $6,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on the driving too closely, $4,000 on the driving under the influence, and $1,000 for the possession of the open alcohol container. And we are also requesting no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and no driving while on bond.
All right, PD Finley or Lynch?
That's correct.
Finley,
I'll be
okay.
covering the case.
Okay.
Yes, Judge. Miss Leary is 37 years old. She does have 2 children, ages 7 and 2.5. And now both those children do live with her. And not only is she a supporter of them, she is the supporter. She's the only supporter for them. And she's quite simply all they have. And she does work full-time, Judge, for Transportation Insight, where she works in sales. I do have a good address for her on Tucker or in Tucker, Georgia. So unequivocally, she will be at court, and I did emphasize that to her. And she does have family here as well, Judge. So she does have community ties. So I am confident she will be at court, and she has every intention of fighting this charge. So I would be asking for a signature bond on Miss Leary's behalf, but if not inclined, then I would be asking for a $2,000 surety bond. That would be $1,000 for the DUI charge, and then $500 for the other 2, following too closely and open container.
All right. I'm going to order a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. That will be $1,000 on driving too close, $3,000 on the DUI, and $1,000 on the possession of open container, for a total of $5,000. With that signature bond through the jail, I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order on the driving that it be limited, that she can drive to work, to emergency or hospital care, or to see a doctor, and for appointments with her attorney. So those are the 3 instances. Otherwise, I guess she needs to Uber or take a ride sharing service. I don't know, it look like the kids are in school, maybe the 7-year-old possibly. So I would allow her to, I don't know, do I want her to take the kid to school? I guess the kid needs to get to school. So I guess work, school, and medical and attorney. And I'm doing that with the assurances, hopefully, that she will not have any more allegations of driving while under the influence. A lot of times we say you can't drive without a valid license from DDS, but I don't know if her license have been suspended or not. And those limited driving privileges are only based upon the fact of her license have not been suspended, if she has a valid license, okay? But otherwise, you should not be driving for those other purposes. Anything else?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing further.
Alright.
Thank you.
All right,
Judge, I think we can put the Spanish interpreter and Mr. Finley in the breakout room, because I think his courtroom 3 is ready.
oh, I see them. Thank you, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you.
Position 12. Ms. Manigan.
Okay.
Your Honor, Owen Lynch, I was appointed to represent Ms. Manicat on a conflict basis. Fortunately, I received an offer from the state. Unfortunately, though, I didn't get a chance to convey that to her. So I would request, if it's possible, if I could have a chance to relay that offer to my client. It may be something we can get resolved here today.
Okay. All right, is there a number to call for courtroom 3, or so that Mr. Lynch can speak with Ms. Maniglin? I don't see courtroom 3 anymore.
They are in the breakout session.
Oh, waiting on
Courtroom
Mr. Lynch
2.
to get in there? Okay,
It'll be the number to courtroom 2. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
You ready for the number, or you have it?
I don't have the number. If it's going to be in the chat, I can see it there. Or if you want to, if you want to send it directly to me, whatever works. I'm standing by.
Lynch is 404-612-2392. 404-612-2392.
Okay, I'll call right now.
all right, thank you.
Position 14. Ms. Robinson.
All right, this is case number 23 CR 0000902J. Tanya Robertson. You're charged at 1 count of simple battery in a public transit vehicle or station, 2nd count of certain acts on a bus rail station that are prohibited. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023. Pre-trial.
Bring up the phone.
She got 15 total. Last arrest was January 2022. Trespass, criminal damage to property. That was out of Clayton County. And obstruction. Before that, 2020 simple battery DV conviction. A 2020 simple battery arrest. 2020 another simple battery DV conviction. 2019 battery DV conviction. 2018 simple assault, NOLO. 2014 probation. Got an interference with government property, felony obstruction conviction, 2014. 2011 theft by taking, those are felony convictions. I stopped there.
All right. ASG Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on February the 14th of 2023. Officers were dispatched to the location of McDonough Boulevard Southeast at University Avenue Southwest. They were dispatched to bus number 1855 in reference to a disorderly passenger. Upon arrival, officers spoke with bus operator Rebecca Tatum, who stated that an unknown female acted disorderly and refused to exit the bus. Upon exiting the bus, the female threw a beer can towards the bus operator and hit her leg. Officers conducted a search of that area, and they noticed a female that matched the description that Ms. Tatum gave them. That female was Miss Tanya Robertson. They placed Ms. Robertson under arrest, and Ms. Rebecca Tatum did positively identify Ms. Robertson. Ms. Robeson's history is extremely concerning. A lot of violent offenses over and over and over again. For that reason, the state is requesting a $4,000 sentence, a $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 for the simple battery, and $1,000 for the acts, certain acts on the bus rail. No further contact with Rebecca Tatum, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Miss Robertson is actually, she's not qualified for public defender's services. So my representation will end at the end of the bond hearing. She's been working as a cleaner, and she also worked at UPS before. She's working as a cleaner. She successfully graduated from high school. And Your Honor, we believe that $4,000 might be a little bit too steep for her. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give her signature on bond because of the previous history, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond. That'll be $3,000 on the simple battery, $1,000 on the certain acts. For a total of $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I did not hear this from the state, or unless I missed it. Is there a request for a stay away from MARTA bus or anything like that while on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will request to stay away from water.
Okay. And I know this happened on a bus and not the rail. Is that correct?
Yes, it happened on a bus.
Okay. And so while on bond, Ms. Robertson, you're to not ride MARTA buses and have no riding on the MARTA buses, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I don't know if we need no further contact with the driver, because I guess the biggest thing is if she's not riding the bus, then she shouldn't have any contact. Anything else, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Could we just limit to bus 1855? She may have to use others to go to work. She has to work as a cleaner.
Well, my problem is, to allow her to use other transportation, I don't want to put any other victims at risk by allowing her to ride other buses, but not 1855. I'm assuming she definitely needs to ride 1855 because she was on it. I don't know that people have a habit of looking at to see what the bus number is. And I don't know how feasible that is. But she's probably going to have a suspension on her anyway, due to this charge. So I'm just gonna order her to not ride any MARTA buses specifically, and comply with any MARTA suspensions that may already be levied against her because of this incident anyway.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further
Okay.
from the state.
Thank you.
Position 4, Mr. Favors.
That's for
Mr. Favors, this is 23. I'm sorry.
That's for PD Findlin. I was wondering if he's ready.
Oh, he may still be. Let's see.
Still in the breakout room, Judge.
PD Findling is in a breakout, deputy.
I thought that was a conflict.
I apologize. Sorry.
Okay, Mr. Favors, is your case, Mr. Lynch?
Your Honor, Mr. Favors is my case.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, gotcha. All right, this is 23 CR 0000897D, Deonta Favors. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence and a 2nd count of criminal trespass and damage to property. The offense date is November 30th, 2022. Pre-trial.
14 total. Last arrest was last month. Failed to appear out of Clayton County, the VGCSA. 2020, given false name, that was dismissed. 2020 misdemeanor possession of marijuana, suspended registration. That was out of Clayton County, it just says transferred to Superior Court. 2019 sale of marijuana arrest. 2019 misdemeanor possession of marijuana, possession of a firearm or a knife during the commission, carrying a weapon within a school safety zone, unlawful for a person to employ or associate with criminal street gang. That possession and the street gang was dismissed, if I'm not mistaken. 2018 failure to appear, possession of cocaine with intent, possession of a firearm during the commission, possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 with intent. 2015, another failure to appear. 2013, simple battery, unauthorized discharge of a firearm. That's it.
All right.
Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, he on probation for the marijuana, it says, out of Clayton County. But he just got put on probation for that on the 13th of this month.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. ASG Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred November 30th, 2022, when officers responded to 419 Chamberlain Street Southeast, which is the residence of the victim, Miss Erica Thomas, who is also the mother of the defendant's child. The defendant came to Miss Thomas's home to pick up their son, to which defendant expressed that he wanted to get back together with Miss Thomas, and she was not in agreement with that. As a result, the defendant became irate and grabbed her by her hair and then dragged her around her house. The defendant also began throwing things around her living room, including punching 2 of her TVs with a closed fist, causing them to break. The state does have serious concerns of reoffense, as well as for the safety of Miss Thomas due to the well-known cycles of violence when it comes to DV cases. Your Honor, for those reasons, the state is going to recommend a $4,000 surety bond. That's $3,000 on the simple battery and $1,000 for the criminal trespass, as well as a no further contact excuse me, with Miss Thomas, a stay away order from her address, the 419 Chamberlain Street, third party transfer of their child, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right.
Your Honor.
Mr. Lynch.
Your Honor, Mr. Favors is 26 years old. He has been an Atlanta resident for all his life. He graduated from Carver High School. He did 1 year of college. He does work. He has 2 children. One is the child with the alleged victim in this case. He is actively involved in their support, from my understanding. So, Your Honor, I believe we did hear some criminal history from Mr. Favors, but I don't believe there's any history of domestic charges. We'd ask the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond. We would ask the court to, he does have limited support as anyone to help him make bonds. So we would ask that the court set the bond at a very reasonable amount. And we'd ask the court to consider a signature bond in this case. But if not, we would ask for no more than a $2,000 bond in total, something in an amount that he may be able to make. So that's our request in this case, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, if I may, just briefly, due to the violent nature, we would strongly oppose a signature bond. And I'm not sure if she's on the Zoom, but we would ask to sound for Miss Erica Thomas.
All right. Is Miss Thomas on the Zoom? Erica Thomas. All right. I don't think the victim is on Zoom. All right. I'm going to order the $4,000 surety bond. $3,000 on the simple battery, $1,000 on the criminal trespass. I'm going to order stay away from 419 Chamberlain Street Southwest, I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Erica Thomas. And if there's visitation allowed with the child, that will be done through a third party. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I think that's it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right.
Nothing further this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Position 6, Mr. Harris.
This is 23-000-899F. James Harris, charge of 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of criminal trespass. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023. Pretrial.
His fourth arrest, last was 2018 probation and given false name. 2017 misdemeanor possession of marijuana dismissed. 2016 misdemeanor possession of marijuana dismissed.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, February 14th, when officers responded to 880 Rock Street, which is the victim Teresa Davis's residence. There they learned that what started as a simple request by Miss Davis, who asked the defendant to remove his shoes in their bedroom, escalated to a heated argument to which the defendant became extremely angry. The defendant pulled Miss Davis's hair and began punching her in the face. The defendant also picked up a glass bottle and threw it through Miss Davis's window. Upon arrival, officers observed the swelling to Miss Davis's lip. She did sustain a swollen lip and scabbing on her forehead as a result of the defendant punching her. We did get a chance to speak with Miss Davis, and she advised that she does not want any further contact with the defendant. The state has serious concerns for her safety, as this did occur last night and was quite violent. And so for those reasons, the state is going to recommend a $4,500 surety bond. That's $4,000 on the battery and $500 for the criminal trespass. Absolutely no further contact with Miss Davis, a stay away order from that address, 880 Rock Street, and then no drugs, alcohol, and weapons. And we would ask to sound for the victim.
All right. Is Miss Teresa Davis on the Zoom? Teresa Davis. I see a Teresa Davis signed on. Miss Davis? Okay, there you go. All right, Miss Davis, do you wish to address the court today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I will need to see you, not a picture of you. Is that, or did it freeze maybe? You have your camera on, is that correct? There we go.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. Just making sure we had a good connection there. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you in fear of Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're in fear of him? Okay. And were you all residing together at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm assuming you don't want to continue residing together. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
And this is your location? Is this an apartment or a house on 880 Rock Street?
Apartment.
Okay. And is that in your name or his name or both?
Mine.
Okay. All right. And all right, I think that's it. You all don't have any children together, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That is it. Any cross-examination, Mr. Lynch or Ms. Dillingham?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I have no questions for Ms. Davis today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I am ready to give, Mr. Lynch.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Harris is 26 years old. He's been in Atlanta most of his life. He did graduate from Shiloh High School in Gwinnett County. Excuse me. He does work at Pizza Hut. I believe we heard some criminal history. I don't believe there's any violent offenses on his criminal record. So we would ask that the court take that into consideration in setting bond. We would ask for a signature bond in this case. In lieu of that, we would ask for a more reasonable bond of maybe $1,000 per charge, something that he is more likely to be able to make. He does have limited financial abilities. We're also asking that the bond be set in an amount that he can make so he can hopefully retain his employment at the Pizza Hut. So that's what we're asking in this case, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay.
Yeah, very well.
All right, I'm going to order the $4,500 surety bond, $4,000 in the battery, $500 on the criminal trespass. Stay away from the incident location at 880 Rock Street. No further contact with the victim, Teresa Davis. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I think that should be it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Nothing from the defense.
thank you.
Position 13, Mr. Parks. Excuse me, Mr. Lynch. Did you send the paperwork for the plea?
I don't have any plea. I'm sorry. I meant to request that. I do not have plea paperwork.
Sending,
for-
I'm gonna send it over. I'm emailing it right now.
Thank you.
Is number 13 the plea?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, good. All right, this is 23 CR 000904G. Eric Tyrone Parks, charged with 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd, 2nd count of battery, family violence. The offense date is December the 5th, 2022. Pretrial.
He got 66. Last arrest was in December, probation out of Douglas County. On probation for drugs not in original container, possession of a Schedule 3 controlled substance. He was arrested 2021. A violation of family violence order that was dismissed. 2021 battery DV, it just says amended out of Douglas County. 2020 battery DV arrest. What else? Got a simple battery DV arrest from 2020. Possession of cocaine conviction, 2009. Another one from 2009. And another one. So I'm in like 2008 now, so.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
All right, ASG Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on December the 5th of 2022. Officers responded to 204 Hilltop Drive Northwest in Atlanta in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Nikita Hodge, first name Naquetta, last name Hodge, common spelling. She stated to police that she was involved in a verbal dispute with her live-in boyfriend, Mr. Eric Parks, the defendant. She stated there had been several arguments regarding the rent. The defendant began packing his belongings, and while packing his belongings to leave, he also attempted to pack some of Miss Parks' belongings. That's when she tried to stop him. He became angry. He grabbed her by her hair, drug her to the ground. He then pinned her to the bed. While he was on top of her, he attempted to choke her. Additionally, he dug his fingernails into her skin, leaving scratches through her body. She sustained injuries to her face, arms, and legs. In addition to that, Miss Parks' 13-year-old daughter was home and witnessed part of the attack on Miss Parks. This is not the first incident between the defendant and Miss Parks. The 2020 charge out of Douglas County, he's on a pretrial diversion. She's the victim in that matter also. For that reason, the state is requesting a $5,000 cash bond, stay away order, no further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. We would also ask the court to sound for Nikita Hodge at the appropriate time, Your Honor. It's nothing further from the state.
So you said your recommendations, $5,000, is that 2,500 on each?
Yes, a cash bond, yes.
5,000 cash, okay. All right, is the victim Nikita Hodge on the Zoom? Victim Nikita Hodge. All right, go ahead, PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Parks is qualified for public defender services because his income from Fold Catering Company as a dishwasher is not high enough. So our office will continuously represent him. Your Honor, he graduated from high school. He is 62 years old and he has total 6 adult children. And they broke up and my client moved out from December 5, 2022. And he resides in another address, 3964 Wood Street. So there's no objection to stay away or no further contact. It will be okay with my client. And I believe he was born and raised here in Georgia. So he does have a ties to the community. Indeed, his sister, Sabrina Jameson, is on the Zoom right now as a support. We would like to request for a $5,000 surety bond because cash bond, there's no way that he's going to be able to make it. And indeed, he wants the maximum $1,000 good bond, which his family can help him to get out, but he's not going to be able to make $5,000 cash bond at all. Thank you.
All right. And you stated that the defendant's sister was on the call?
Yes.
Okay, is that Miss Jemison?
Yes.
Okay. All right, if she was not at the scene or at the location, I'm going to defer and not allow her to speak. And want to make sure that Miss Jemison understands that. I don't know if she's walked away. All right, I'm ready to give my ruling. I'm going to, with the extensive criminal history that I've heard and the factors, Miss Jemison?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your time. I'll finish my ruling. I'm going to order that $5,000 cash bond. And I'm going to order a stay away. And I'm sorry, with the $5,000 cash bond, that will be $4,000 on the battery and $1,000 on the cruelty. As far as the breakdown, I'm going to order a stay away from 204 Hilltop Drive Northwest. I'm going to order no further contact with Nikita Hodge. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I think that should be it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. That will conclude this case. What do we have next, Deputy?
Position 1.
All right, is this the interpreter's case?
Yes.
All right, Madam Interpreter, is this Spanish?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you swear to interpret from Spanish to English and English to Spanish in the proper manner, with no embellishments to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is case number 23 CR 0000911F.
Este es
State
el caso
versus. Go ahead. Go
Este
ahead.
es el caso 23 CR 0009111F.
State versus Mario Balderas.
La Fiscalía en contra Mario Banderas.
And it's one count of possession and use of drug-related objects.
Con un cargo de tenencia de parafernalia.
The offense date February the 14th, 2023.
Y el delito se ocurrió en febrero 14 del 2023.
And pre-trial, I believe, has told me this is a first arrest.
Y el servicio previos al juicio me ha dicho que es el primer arresto.
All right, state.
Yes, Your
La
Honor.
Fiscalía.
On February the 14th of 2023, officers were dispatched to 141 Michaela Drive in Alpharetta.
El día 14 de febrero del 2023, los oficiales fueron enviados al 141 de McKellar Drive en Alpharetta.
A citizen called in and reported a loud construction noise, and due to the time, it being 12:38 at night, that was uncommon.
Ellos recibieron un mensaje con una queja de haber escuchado un ruido muy fuerte ocurriendo a las 12:38 de la madrugada cuando se recibió el mensaje.
When officers arrived to the location, they saw a tan GMC Sierra parked on the street in front of the previously stated location.
Cuando los oficiales llegaron al lugar, observaron que había un GMC Sierra de color beige que estaba estacionado en la calle.
They observed Mr. Mario Banderas sleeping inside that vehicle.
Y observaron que el señor Mario Banderas estaba durmiendo dentro del vehículo.
Officers observed in plain view a glass pipe on the floorboard of that vehicle.
Y muy visible, pudieron ver, de manera muy visible, los oficiales pudieron ver una pipa de vidrio en el piso del vehículo.
Police K9 sniffed around the vehicle and had a positive alert.
Los policías observaron alrededor del vehículo y realizaron una alerta.
Officers searched the vehicle and found the defendant's wallet, a clear Ziploc bag containing methamphetamine residue, and 3 smoking pipes.
Los oficiales evaluaron el lugar y encontraron una billetera y también una bolsa de plástico con residuos de una sustancia de metanfetamina y 3 pipas de vidrio.
The state would request a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
La Fiscalía solicita una multa de $2,000 bajo firma, una fianza, perdón, y a través de los servicios previos al juicio y que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nada más de la Fiscalía, su señoría.
All right. Mr. Finley.
Señor Finley.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Balderas is 37 years old.
El señor Banderas tiene 37 años, su señoría.
He does have full-time employment where he works in the concrete business.
Él tiene un trabajo remunerado a tiempo completo en la industria del cemento.
He has 4 children, ages ranging from 3 years old to 10 years old.
Él tiene 4 hijos con edades entre 3 y 10 años.
And he is 100% their main provider and their only provider.
Y él es el único que provee sustento financiero a ellos.
As we heard, Mr. Balderas doesn't have a criminal history. He has 0 criminal history, as this is his first arrest.
Como escuchamos, el señor Banderas no tiene ningún antecedente penal. Este es el primer incidente ocurrido.
Since he's been here, he does have lots of friends in the area, and he does have a good address where he has been residing full time. So he does have community ties.
Él tiene relaciones aquí que lo atan en la sociedad, tiene amigos y también tiene una buena dirección en donde él ha residido todos estos años.
And I am asking for a signature bond on Mr. Balderas' behalf, but if not inclined, I would ask for a $1,000 surety bond.
Yo quiero solicitar por parte del señor Banderas una fianza bajo firma, pero si eso no es posible, que sea una fianza bajo garantía de solo $1,000.
And that's all I have.
Y eso es todo, su señoría.
All right. I'm going to order the $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Yo ordeno una fianza de bajo firma por $2,000 a través de la cárcel.
And I'm going to order, unless the state tells me otherwise, stay away from the 141 McKellum Drive.
Y
I don't believe that's necessary, Your Honor.
Okay, not necessary. All right. So the $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Queda prohibido el uso, ordeno que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas durante la libertad bajo fianza.
And that should be it unless counsel has anything else.
Y eso es todo, a no ser que el licenciado tenga algo más.
Nothing further from the state.
Nada más de parte de la fiscalía.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Nada más,
All right.
gracias.
All right, that will conclude this case.
All right. I don't believe
Yes, what was that bond?
$2,000 signature bond through jail.
Thank you, ma'am.
I believe that will be my only case, Your Honor, unless you heard of
Right.
something else.
Right, I don't think we do. Do we have any other interpreter cases that anyone else is aware of?
No, ma'am.
All
No,
right, you're
that's
free
it.
to go. Thank you. for
Thank
your
you, Your
time.
Honor. Have a
All
good
right,
evening.
have a good one. You too.
Your Honor,
Yes.
position 12, Ms. Mannequin, she don't want to take the plea, and she needs to talk to you.
Okay,
Whoever,
Ms. Lynch.
Lynch.
Okay, should I call the number again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I tried calling you, Lynch, but you didn't pick up the phone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I stepped away. I apologize for that. I'll call right now.
Okay.
okay.
All right, we have position 16, Mr. Thomas.
All right. This is 23 CR 0000906Y. Mr. Thomas, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and a 2nd count of disorderly conduct with the offense date of February the 6th, 2023. Pre-trial.
You got 11 total. Previous 10 cycles come out of Massachusetts. Got a 2018 assault and battery. It was dismissed, lack of prosecution. 2017 assault and battery, 2 counts, 1 count intimidation of a witness. And before that was a 03 resisting arrest. Everything else is about 21 years older.
All right. All right, ASG Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on February the 5th of 2023. Officers were dispatched to the location of 2565 Rolling Brook Trail in East Point. Upon arrival, they observed the defendant, Mr. Viotis Thomas. He was bleeding and injured. Officers attempted to speak to him, but he was uncooperative. So officers spoke with his wife, Wenling Thomas, and she advised the officers that the defendant and her son, Mr. Jordan Falls, the defendant's stepson, who was 15 years old, they were involved in a verbal dispute that turned physical. And she asked them to go outside and cool off. They went outside and cooled off. And when the defendant returned, he was bleeding. Officers then spoke to the victim, Mr. Jordan Falls. He stated that the defendant threw a bottle of cologne at him inside the home, which led to a physical altercation. When that fight ended, he went outside to get some air. That's when the defendant walked outside and continued to want to engage in a fight. The defendant swung at him and missed, and then he placed him in a headlock. And when the defendant placed Mr. Falls in a headlock, Mr. Falls retrieved the knife out of his pocket, and he stabbed the defendant twice to get him off of him at the time. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 for the simple battery, and $1,000 for the disorderly conduct, a stay away order, and no further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. If Mr. Jordan Falls is on the Zoom, Your Honor, we ask for him to be sounded for at the appropriate time. That's all.
All right. Mr. Jordan Falls. I don't think he's on. Oh,
I'm Jordan's mother.
I was
Elaine
going
Thomas.
to ask, is Mr. Jordan Falls with you?
He is not. He is currently at school.
Okay, well, I can't allow mom to testify for him in the sense I do know that he's a minor, as long as you were there with him, gave permission for him to testify, but I know that you were somewhat on the scene, but you did not, to my understanding, unless you tell me otherwise, did you see the incident happen outside of the home?
The incident outside of the home, no, I did not.
So you did not necessarily see the altercation between them, is that correct?
Not the one outside, no.
Okay, was there altercation inside that you saw?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the essence of what happened, and you are a witness, obviously, to some parts of this, but I understand when they came back inside, then that's when the defendant was bleeding?
Correct.
Okay, all right. I don't have any other questions of the witness. This is a bond hearing. This is not the trial. So I don't dive as deep in as some people would think that I do into the facts of the case. I go by the allegations that are on the warrant at this point, which I am clear about. I don't know that I would think at this point you have much else to add that would be relevant to my bond issues. And you know, we hope that, again, that the victim, who is your son, Mr. Jordan Falls, if he would be safe in the home, and we're concerned about his safety first and foremost. So will he be safe staying in the home with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you in fear of Mr. Thomas?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what about your son?
No, he's not in fear of my husband, no.
Okay.
And Your Honor, if I may, me and my husband, we have two biological kids together.
Okay. How old are they?
One is 8 weeks old and the other is 1.5.
Okay. 8 weeks and 1.5. Okay. All right. Any cross-examination, ASG Rogers?
Yes, just a few questions.
Okay.
Hello, Ms. Thomas, how are you doing?
And I am so sorry, Ms. Thomas, I forgot to swear you in, and I apologize with that. Let me do that real quick, although I'm sure you've been telling the truth thus far. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give or have given is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, ASG Rogers.
Has your son Jordan and the defendant, have they been involved in a physical dispute before?
No, sir. This was the first time.
Do they get involved in verbal disputes often?
No, not often, no.
How often would you say they get in verbal disputes?
It happened, a verbal dispute maybe one other time. I wouldn't even say it was a dispute. It was just like a misunderstanding.
So this is the first time to your knowledge where it is ever became physical between
Yes, sir.
and you are confident that your child will be safe, Jordan will be safe if
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas is let back into the home?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. PD Kim,
No question, Your Honor.
okay, you may go ahead.
Yes,
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
No problem.
thank you, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas is 38 years old, and Your Honor, they live with 5 children total, 15, 12, 8, 1.5, and 8 weeks. Your Honor, my client is the only sole breadwinner at this point. He works at Warner's at logistics. It's Warner's Amazon Logistics. He's been working there since he will be making more than the minimum poverty level. We will not be able to represent him as a public defender. After the today's bond hearing, he will have to hire a private attorney. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for a maximum $1,000 good bond. And also no further violent contact. Thank you. And I just want to clarify about the cruelty to children, 3rd degree. There were 2 charges that were listed. Do we have an NOD filed, or do we have to not worry about that at all?
We filed NOD for those charges.
Thank you.
So we're just left with the 2 that I read.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order the $3,000 surety bond. That will be $2,000 on the simple battery family violence and $1,000 on the disorderly conduct. I'm going to order, I know this happened on February the 6th. However, to making sure that the victim will be safe at this location, I'm going to order a stay away from the 2565 Rolling Brook Trail in East Point. While Mr. Thomas is on bond, he needs to reside somewhere else. I'm going to order no further violent contact with the victim, Jordan Falls. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm also going to order a 1-day anger awareness course while on bond. And think that'll be it for my ruling.
Position, going back to position 12.
Okay.
Your Honor, I did speak to Ms. Meng again, and she has instructed me that she's not prepared to go forward with the plea today.
Okay.
So I guess we should just go forward with the
Bond here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is 23 CR 0000898B, Megan Manigan. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023. Pre-trial.
20 total. She's on probation out of the cab for theft by receiving and entering auto. Hold on. Last arrest was back in July 2021 for theft by receiving. She got a 2017 arrest out of Mississippi, trespass. Another 2017 arrest for trespass, failure to comply with requests of officers. Let's see. Got a trespass conviction 2021 out of the cab. Another trespass from 2021 conviction. 2021 trespass arrest. Failure to appear 2019 out of Athens, Clark County. 2019 shoplifting conviction. 2019 obstruction, misdemeanor possession of marijuana conviction. 2017 probation. 2017 obstruction, NOLO. 2014 shoplifting conviction. 2013 affray, NOLO. And a 2012 ag assault, not presented to grand jury.
All right. ASG Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on February the 14th of 2023. Officers arrived to the location of 80 J.C. Hill Jr. Drive, that's Grady Hospital, in reference to a trespass. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Kimberly Mitchell, who worked security at the hospital. She stated that she discovered Miss Megan Manigan inside of room ZB, which is currently under construction. Miss Manigan was asleep. The defendant has been found to be at that location on January the 23rd of 2023 and January 31st of 2023. Both times she was given verbal criminal trespass warnings, and they escorted her off the property. For that reason, they did contact police this time, and she was charged with criminal trespass. State is recommending a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, a stay-away order from Grady Hospital unless for medical treatment or emergency treatment, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Lynch.
Judge, I'm in an awkward position, Your Honor. My client has instructed me not to request a signature bond. She is homeless. She has nowhere to go, although I think a signature bond would be appropriate in this case. My only concern is whether I can get in contact with her. I do have, the only contact number I do have is for a somewhat remote acquaintance. So, I do think a signature bond would be appropriate. She does have concerns about, having somewhere to go. And I, explained to her that the jail's not a hotel, but she doesn't want to go forward with the plea. I guess I would leave the bond in the court's discretion in this situation. I'm not sure if I can request any sort of social service sort of outreach for my client. I certainly can try to get her in contact with some organizations myself, but I'm not sure if there's anything you can order. If she is to be released on a signature bond, I would certainly ask that the deputies provide her with my contact information so that she can at least get in contact with me, so that we don't lose track of her. That's just kind of where we are right now. I'm certainly, if she isn't released from jail, I certainly will be at the jail to speak with her before her next court date.
Okay. Do you have any response to that, ASG Rogers?
Your Honor, the state is going to request that signature bond. As the defense attorney alluded to, we really can't use the jail as housing when it's not deemed necessary, by the court. And we recommend the signature bond for this particular offense.
Well, she has a hold in DeKalb, so she's going to go to DeKalb. So I'll go ahead and give the signature bond, and then she can go to DeKalb. So I will order that $3,000 signature bond through the jail, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. If you can get social services over there before late tonight or early in the morning if you can, Mr. Lynch, to help. And then she will obviously be transported or picked up by DeKalb County. Not sure exactly how that will work.
Can I
Mr.
just
Lynch,
ask if the deputies could provide my phone number to Miss Mang again, and if she has any additional contact information that she hasn't already provided me with, because I certainly don't want to lose track of her. I have one phone number, not for a close relative or any kind of an address. But
yes, Miss Manigan, can you make sure that you keep in contact with Mr. Lynch for future court dates so that you won't be arrested again? Can you do that for me?
What's it?
Okay, hopefully so. Good luck to you.
And additionally, Your Honor, can we put a stay away order from Grady Hospital?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. And to stay away from Grady Hospital unless you're receiving medical treatment. So stay away from Grady in the meantime as well. But hopefully someone can help you with some housing challenges. All right, thank you.
thank you, Judge. That concludes my business for today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Enjoy your day, Mr. Lynch.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Position 3, Mr. Cooper.
Go ahead and do that.
This is 23 CR 0000895C. Emmett Cooper, charged at 1 count of willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, 2nd count of pedestrian crossing between adjacent intersections with traffic control devices in operation. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023. Pretrial.
This is 9th arrest. Last arrest was back in July. Sale of marijuana. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. That's open Superior Court. 22 CP 210983. On probation for armed robbery. 12 SC 114603. In 2013, they gave him 10 years to serve, 5 years probation for that. I got an ag assault conviction, 2 counts from 2015 out of Monroe County. Probation violations, 2011. That's the sale. Possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Possession of cocaine with intent, that was from 2010 conviction. Another 2010 possession of cocaine with intent conviction. That's it.
All right. ASG Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, February 14th. Officers were conducting surveillance in the area on suspected gang activity when they noticed the defendant going back and forth multiple times across a main street that was busy at the time without using the crosswalk. The officers approached the defendant and asked for his ID, to which the defendant ran away. Your Honor, the state is recommending in this case a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. That's $1,500 on each count, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Okay. All right, Mr. Finley.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Cooper is 31 years old. He does have a daughter. So he is a father, a daughter that's 10 years old. He is fully employed and works full-time for C.W. Matthews. And with C.W. Matthews, he lays pavement. He does have that job full-time, Judge. He does have his GED. He does have many family here, friends and family. So he does have strong community ties. And Judge, while I do recognize some of Mr. Cooper's distant criminal history, he has really been making a point to get his life together and been walking a straight line. And while I do recognize his most recent arrest, he is presumed innocent in that case, as you know. For Mr. Cooper, Judge, I would be asking for a signature bond, but if you're not inclined, I would ask for a $1,000 surety bond. Mr. Cooper has every intention of fighting this case, and he's made very clear to me that he plans on returning to court, so I don't see that being a problem, Judge.
All right, I'm going to Order the $3,000 surety bond, $1,500 on each charge. And I am going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Were there any other requests by the state?
Your Honor, the state did actually request a signature bond, but if that's Your Honor's ruling, we will. Abide.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. I apologize. And Mr. Finley, I guess you want to object to the signature bond.
I would not object to a signature bond. As I would
Okay.
prefer that.
All right. I apologize. I will order the $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Mr. Cooper, keep up with your address with your attorney.
Judge,
I'm sorry, through the jail. I apologize. Signature bond through the jail per judge. And I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, but that is a $3,000 signature bond through the jail.
Got it. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Position 11, Mr. Maddox.
This is 23 CR 0000908G. Gary Maddox, you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence and a 2nd count of simple battery family violence. The offense date is April the 13th, 2022. Pretrial.
this is 8th arrest. Last arrest was 2019, simple assault, criminal damage to property 2nd degree. That's open, 21 SC 177342. Before that was 2016 probation violation. The underlying charge is burglary, theft by receiving, forgery in the 2nd degree. 2015 probation. And the theft by receiving from 2010. That's it.
Okay. All right. ASG Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred April 13th, 2022, when officers responded to 2524 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, which was the victim Stephanie Robinson's address. Ms. Robinson had advised the officers that the defendant arrived to her home unannounced. When she went to her door after hearing knocking, she noticed that the peephole was covered, to which she opened the door and the defendant bum rushed her, pushing her and grabbing her by the neck. He began to drag her across the floor. And as the defendant was attacking Ms. Robinson, she tried to get him off of her, and her foot sustained a surface wound as a result. The two do share a child together, Your Honor. And we reached out to Ms. Robinson. We weren't able to get in contact with her today, but we do have serious concerns for her safety. We know that this was last year, but due to the violent nature of the crime, we still do have concerns for her safety. So for that reason, the state is going to recommend a $5,000 surety bond. That's $3,000 on the battery and $2,000 on the simple battery. Also, no further contact with Ms. Stephanie Robinson, a stay away from her address, 2524 MLK Jr. Drive, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond, and the third party transferred of their child.
All right, Mr. Finley.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Maddox is 29 years old. He is the father of 6 children, 4 of which live with him. And he does live with his current girlfriend. So he has not had any contact with Miss Robinson, and he does not have any interest in having contact with Miss Robinson. So that would not be an issue in any way, shape, or form. Aside from being a father, a proud father, he does have his GED. Additionally, he does work full-time. He is employed full-time for a cheap warehouse. And there he is a forklift driver, which entailed a lot of training, and it's a lot of responsibility, and they eventually moved him up to having that responsibility. He also does have his own LLC, And he is currently in school as well, trying to get his HVAC license at UEI. Judge, I did emphasize to Mr. Maddox the importance of coming to court. He did assure me that he would be at court, and he has every intention of fighting this charge and does maintain his innocence. So I would ask for a signature bond on Mr. Maddox's behalf, but if you're not inclined, I would ask for a $1,000 surety bond.
Okay.
And one last thing, Judge, we are okay with no further contact, because once again, Mr. Maddox has no intention on contacting Ms. Robinson.
Okay. All right, I am going to order a $4,000 surety bond. And that will be 3,000 on the battery, 1,000 on the simple battery. I'm going to order stay away from 2524 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. No further contact with Stephanie Robinson, and third-party transfer with any visitation as allowed with the child, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Anything else, counsel?
Just a
Nothing else
quick,
from the state, Your Honor.
yeah, just a quick question for Mr. Maddox, just because I want to contact someone on his behalf to make his bond.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a contact number, Mr. Maddox, of?
Yes, my baby mother's Tamisha Robinson.
Which number was that?
706-584-4703.
4703. Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Position 7, Mr. Jarrett.
All right, this is case number 23 CR 000-900B, Vernon Jarrett, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and 2 counts of certain acts on the bus rail station prohibited. All 4 charges carry the offense date of February the 14th, 2023. Retrial.
44 total. He's on probation, theft by receiving, DUI, possession of alcohol below legal age, driving without a valid license, reckless conduct, giving false names. So it was an 08 case. In 2013, they gave him 12 months to serve, 10 years probation for that. That was out of Fulton County. He on probation in DeKalb for sale of marijuana. In 2013, they gave him 2 years to serve and 8 years probation for that. 2016 FTA got a obstruction conviction. 2018, 2021 obstruction arrest. 2021 probation. 2019 probation. Want me to keep going?
No, that's good. Thank you. ASG Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, February 14th. Officers responded to a MARTA station at 7010 Peachtree Dunwoody Road. The defendant was at the station after previously being issued a trespass warning by MARTA that was effective from December 30th to February 28th. So he was in violation of that trespass warning. While on the train car at the station, the defendant opened an emergency door and walked through it and was soliciting others. Officers, while arresting the defendant, found a clear bag of marijuana on the defendant's person. The state is going to recommend in this case a $4,000 signature bond, Your Honor. That's $2,000 on the criminal trespass, $1,000 on the possession, and then $500 for each of the certain acts prohibited, as well as a stay away order from all MARTA locations due to the violation of the trespass warning.
And which MARTA station is that?
The MARTA station that the incident occurred at was 7010 Peachtree Dunwoody Road, but we would ask for a stay away from all MARTA locations.
Okay. But now he was not on a suspension. He had just had a previous warning. Is that what I heard correctly?
Yes, it was a trespass warning issued by MARTA.
All right. PD Finley.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Jarrett is 33 years old. He does have his GED and he is employed part-time and he works for First Step Staffing. Now, he does have lots of family and friends in Atlanta, so he does have strong community ties. And I really emphasize to him, Judge, the importance of returning to court, in which he did say that he would. I do have a good mailing address for him, so he will be able to get notified once he does have court. And I also have a couple emergency contacts for him and a contact number for him as well. I would ask for a signature bond on his behalf, or I would agree of the signature bond. I would also ask, unless he has a current suspension with MARTA, which obviously if he has a suspension with MARTA, he needs to abide by it. But if he doesn't, I would ask that he would still be able to use MARTA, as he's not able to afford a ride share service, and other than using his 2 feet, there's no other way he'd be able to get around.
All right, I'm going to, the state has recommended.
Your Honor, if I may, my sincerest apologies. I did pull it up and it was a active suspension.
It was an active suspension.
Yes,
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay. The state has recommended a $4,000 signature bond. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will grant the $4,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order, that will be $2,000 on the criminal trespass, $1,000 on the possession, and $500 on each of the certain acts. I am going to order a stay away from all MARTA since he was under a suspension until the end of February. But I'm going to just order a stay away. He'll have to do ride shares and Ubers. Stay away from MARTA. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that should do it. Is that it? Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from the state. Thank you.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor, is that through pretrial or?
No, jail.
Jail. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right, position 5, Mr. Freeman.
Huh?
So, now checking your too. Come on.
This is 23 CR 0000896F. Jerry Freeman, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The offense date is February the 14th, 2023, pretrial.
30 total. Last arrest was January 2022, probation for burglary. Before that was 2020 probation, 2019 parole violation, 28 parole violation, 2014 FTA for that burglary. 2015 criminal damage to property, 2nd degree conviction, 2 counts. 2011 trespass conviction, 2011 trespass arrest, 2009 trespass arrest. That's it.
All right. ASG Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday, February 14th, when officers responded to the BP gas station at 1450 Donnelly Road. There, the defendant was on the premises after he had previously received a criminal trespass warning on January 31st, 2023, when he was asked not to return to that location. And the case number on that is CR 23031237. Your Honor, the defendant was not partaking in any violent acts while on the premises, but we would absolutely ask for a stay away from that address. And the state is going to recommend a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial service, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
And give me that address again.
Yes, that address is 1450 Donnelly Road.
Donnelly.
Yes, Donnelly.
All right. And that is a home or a business? Do we know?
It's a BP gas station.
Okay. All right. Stay away from that. Okay. All right, Mr. Finley.
Yes, Mr. Freeman is 57 years old. He does have lots of family in the Atlanta area, so he does have community ties. I mean, I do have a good mailing address for him as well. I am going to reach out to our social workers to help him with housing, because I know that's one area where he does need some assistance. But I do have a phone number for him, and I do have a mailing address where he will be able to receive mail. And he's not currently employed, Judge. The only money he has is from what he makes on disability. So I obviously would agree to a signature bond, because any sort of monetary bond would effectively be a no bond. So just asking for a signature bond on his behalf.
All right. I'm going to order the $2,000 signature bond through the jail, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Stay away from 1450 Donnelly Road, which is the BP gas station. I'm going to give you this signature bond, Mr. Freeman, with the understanding that you will stay away from the BP. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, that's it in courtroom 2.
Position 2,
Yes,
that person bond out, Jamari Barlow Connor.
the charges will upgrade to felony.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I think that's there were two different cases for Mr. Barlow Connor. One was upgraded to the DA's office for felony. The other was not. That's 23 CR 0000910J.
So not all the charges were not upgraded?
They said not all the charges.
So there was two separate incidents. One occurred in August of last year and the other in September. So the August incident, which was a different case number, was recommended to the DA, and the September incident was not.
Don't know if the jail has it that way.
Okay.
Let's see. Deputy, did you hear us at all?
Yeah, Your Honor. I was told by the deputy that's in felony that all the charges that's on this current calendar are on the felony calendar.
And they may have sent them all over just to, sometimes they'll do that, send them all over, even though the misdemeanors are still pending, they'll send them over to handle.
Yeah, because they handle all the same cases in felony.
Right. Sometimes that happens.
Because I know this sounds very confusing. It's two different cases. I'm not just charges. So it's two different cases. One had 6 charges and one had 5 charges. They were like literally the same charges. Like
charges.
Yeah,
but
same
different
exact
offense
charge,
dates.
different events. It was driving without a license, no insurance, and so I'm not sure. I can look into
Ms.
it.
Lewis, I was gonna say, Ms. Lewis, did you see anything?
Yeah,
different?
the ASG, she's very correct. We only part of his charges were transferred to felony court with the incident date of August the 18th of 2022. Yeah, 2022. Those charges were transferred to the felony court. The cases that are on the counter are in misdemeanor state court, which is an incident of September the 13th of 2022. So we should have seen him today too, also on these charges.
Okay. Okay.
So he's still.
Can
in
he be
felony
seen
court.
tomorrow?
Can't get him. He may have to be reset to tomorrow.
I was gonna say reset him till tomorrow.
Okay. I'll make sure he comes down tomorrow, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
no problem.
All right, thank you.
Melissa, you ready?
Ms. Grace?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
Position number 1, $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 2, reset to the SEA calendar for tomorrow. Position number 3 is a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 4 is a $4,000 good bond. Position number 5 is a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 6 is a $4,500 good bond. Position number 7 is a $4,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 8 is a $2,000 pretrial bond per judge. Position number 9 is a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 10 is a $3,500 SOB through the jail. Position number 11 is a $4,000 good bond. Position number 12 is a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 13 is a $5,000 cash bond. Position number 14 is a $4,000 good bond. Position 15 is a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16 is a $3,000 good bond. Position 17 is a $3,500 SOB through the jail. Any questions or comments?
no ma'am, sounds good. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll be sending these
Everybody
right
have a
over,
good one.
Judge.
Thank you, dear. All right, take